Hook. Right. Picture this. You're smaller than a grain of rice, completely see-through, and you look like a floating blob of snot with delusions of grandeur. But here's the mental bichur, supposed to become the fastest fish in the entire ocean, capable of hitting nearly 70 miles per hour. The only problem, you can't swim. You can barely move. And there's a jellyfish heading straight for you that's treating your family like an Alicani takeaway. Welcome to life as a sailfish, where you go from being a pathetic transparent blob to becoming nature's most lethal underwater missile. Stick around, because this journey is absolutely bonkers. Main content. Pop, pop, pop. You burst out of your see-through egg near the warm ocean surface, one after another with thousands of your brothers and sisters. You're still trying to figure out what just happened when you notice something terrifying. A small jellyfish is moving through the water like an underwater hoover, sweeping through your newborn siblings and sucking them up one by one. This thing is treating your family like it's at an all-you-can-eat buffet on Half-Price Tuesday. It's heading straight for you now, its mouth opening wider. Without even thinking about it, you dive, not deep or anything impressive, just a few centimeters under the surface. The creature sweeps past exactly where you were floating a second ago and carries on left, still munching on your mates. When you surface again, you realize something properly grim. Almost all of your siblings have been eaten. The few who are left are floating above on the surface, enjoying their brief moment of not being dead. You're smaller than a grain of rice right now, completely transparent, and you look more like a floating blob of jelly than the fastest fish on Earth you might become someday. Your body is basically a see-through bubble with a yolk sac attached to it. No fins, no bill, no nothing that remotely resembles a fish. You're essentially a floating disappointment with potential. Your yolk sac is your only food source at the moment, and it'll last for about 2 days. That's it. 2 days of meals included. Then you're on your own. Brilliant start to life in it. On the 3rd day, your yolk sac is completely gone. You need food, and you need it now. You drift your body like some sort of wobbly blob on the surface, and dip down a centimeter in the water. You notice a few copepods drifting nearby. You try to grab one with your barely formed mouth, but it slips away. You try a few more times and finally catch one, but it barely counts as food. It's absolutely tiny. The entire day, you manage to catch dozens of tiny plankton, but the amount of effort you're putting in is nowhere near enough for what your body needs to grow. You're still smaller than 1 centimeter, so life is still proper rubbish, to be honest. Almost a month passes like this. Drift. Eat microscopic things. Try not to get eaten. Repeat. But now you've grown to about 15 to 25 millimeters and have officially passed your small birth stage. You actually look more like a fish now, which is a nice change. Your mouth structure has become more advanced, and you can actually eat small fish, larvae, and shrimp-like creatures, instead of just invisible plankton. Most importantly, you've developed fins, and a tail that can actually propel you through the water. So you've started diving underwater instead of just floating helplessly on the surface like some sort of aquatic crisp packet. It's time for your first real hunt. You spot a school of tiny fish larvae, about half your size. Perfect first targets. You think. You position yourself below them, watching their movements. Unlike the mindless drifting of plankton, these things actually swim with purpose, making quick turns and sudden stops. This is going to require actual skill. Your newly developed fins propel you upward as you open your mouth and miss completely. The entire school scatters in different directions whilst you chomp at empty water. Absolutely embarrassing. But you're determined to get this right. You find another small fish isolated from its group. This time, you approach more carefully, using your developing bill to aim. You lunge forward with all the grace of a drunk sea cucumber and actually manage to catch it. Result: the fish thrashes in your mouth. Its scales rough against your soft throat, but you gulp it down. Your first real prey. It tastes so much better than boring plankton, but it also takes 10 times more energy to catch. Just as you're feeling quite proud of your hunting achievement, a massive shadow passes overhead. You look up to see something that makes your blood freeze. A bottlenose dolphin, at least 20 times your size, with intelligent eyes and a mouth full of sharp teeth. It's spotted. Without warning, the dolphin dives straight down toward you with terrifying speed. You've never experienced anything like this before. pure, intelligent predation aimed directly at you. You twist your body frantically, your small fins working overtime as the dolphin's jaws snap shut inches from your tail. This isn't like avoiding a mindless jellyfish. This thing is actively hunting you, calculating your movements, predicting where you'll go next. You'll dart left, the dolphin follows. You dive deeper, it follows. You surface rapidly, and it's still right behind you, clicking and whistling as if it's properly enjoying the chase. For the first time in your short life, you understand what real death looks like. In desperation, you attempt something you've never tried before. Real speed. You pump your tail as fast as possible, trying to access that legendary sailfish velocity you're supposed to inherit. But your body isn't ready. Instead of graceful acceleration, you spin out of control, tumbling through the water like a broken torpedo. The dolphin, apparently amused by your pathetic escape attempt, loses interest and swims away to bully another small fish. Yeah, the dolphin was just playing with you. Otherwise, you'd have been done for already. Dolphins are proper menaces like that. Over the next few weeks, you become absolutely obsessed with speed. You see an adult sailfish in the distance, moving like an underwater bullet, and you think, I can totally do that. You position yourself like you've seen the adults do. Build up momentum, angle your body perfectly, and ... Wham! You crash headfirst into a coral formation so hard that small fish scatter in all directions. A cloud of disturbed sand settles around you whilst you float there, stunned and embarrassed. Okay, that was just practice, you tell yourself, trying to salvage some dignity. You try again, this time aiming for open water where there's hopefully nothing to crash into. You pump your tail with everything you've got, and for a moment, just a brief, glorious moment, you actually feel fast. Then your elongated body starts wobbling like a broken shopping trolley with a dodgy wheel. You spin out of control, tumbling through the water until you slam into a rock wall. A hermit crab pokes its head out and gives you the most judgmental look you've ever received. Even the crab thinks you're rubbish. Frustrated, you give up for the day. This speed thing is going to take some proper practice. One day, whilst desperately hunting near a coral reef, you witness something absolutely amazing. An adult tuna, sleek and powerful, approaches a school of small fish. Instead of chasing them chaotically like you do, it does something different. It slashes through the school with its tail, stunning several fish at once, then loops back to collect the disoriented prey. It's elegant, efficient, and devastatingly effective. You've just witnessed the underwater equivalent of a martial arts master. You decide to try this slash-hunt grab technique yourself. How hard can it be, right? You find a small school of fish and approach with what you think is expert precision. You swing your developing bill sideways through the school, hoping to stun them like the tuna did. Instead, you completely miss the school, overbalance from your own momentum, and crash face first into a sea anemone. The stinging tentacles leave painful welts across your face whilst the fish you were hunting swim away, probably laughing at you. Even the anemone seems disappointed. You try again with another school. This time, you manage to get close enough that they scatter, startled by your clumsy approach, but none are stunned or injured enough for easy capture. You're basically the underwater equivalent of someone trying to play football whilst wearing roller skates. But you keep practicing, day after day, week after week. You crash into things, miss your targets, accidentally stun yourself more than you stun prey. But slowly, gradually, you're getting better. A few months have passed, and you've officially entered your subadult stage. You're bigger now, stronger, faster. Your bill has gone from a soft nub to a proper weapon. Your body has streamlined. Your muscles have developed. And most importantly, you've figured out how to not crash into literally everything. This time, when you slash through a school with your now solid bill, the technique is devastatingly effective. Fish scatter in all directions, several of them stunned and disoriented from the impact. You loop back with actual precision this time. Not the pretend kind collecting not one, but for fish in a single hunt. This is what you've been training for. This stage of your life is all about hunting these small fish and eating as much as you can to grow to your full size and ability. Fast forward exactly 2 years from now. You're a magnificent 3-meter torpedo, the fastest fish on Earth. capable of hitting 68 miles per hour when you need to. Your bill has become a razor-sharp weapon that can slash through schools of fish like a hot knife through butter. Your dorsal sail can extend to intimidate prey and predators alike, and you've mastered the art of hunting with deadly precision. Today feels like the perfect day to demonstrate just how far you've come from that pathetic transparent blob. You spot a massive school of sardines ahead, thousands of them moving in tight formation, completely unaware of the death missile approaching from below. This is what you were born for, mate. This is your moment. You position yourself beneath the school, your sail folding flat against your back for maximum speed. With one explosive burst, you rocket upward, building to your maximum velocity in seconds. The water screams past your streamlined body as you slash through the school with surgical precision. Your bill cuts through the formation like a sword, stunning dozens of fish with a shockwave alone. The water erupts in chaos as the school breaks apart in panic. You loop back through the mayhem, your mouth opening and closing like a machine gun, collecting the disoriented sardines one after another after another. In less than 30 seconds, you've consumed more food than your juvenile self could catch in an entire week. This is the payoff for all those months of failed attempts and embarrassing crashes. You're finally the apex predator you were destined to become. But being the fastest fish in the ocean comes with its own set of problems, doesn't it? As you cruise through the open water, your incredible speed demands massive amounts of oxygen. Your gills are working overtime, extracting every molecule they can from the rushing water. You can't stop swimming, not even for a moment, or you'll suffocate. It's like being stuck in permanent overdrive with no option to slow down. Ever imagined having to run a marathon every single day just to breathe? That's your life now. Your streamlined body, built for pure velocity, is also incredibly fragile. Your flesh is soft, your bones hollow for reduced weight. You're basically an organic missile that can be destroyed by the slightest damage. Even a small cut or injury could slow you down enough to mean certain death, either from inability to catch prey or becoming prey yourself. You're the fastest thing in the ocean, but you're also one of the most vulnerable. One wrong move, one unlucky encounter, one moment of carelessness, and it's all over. Speed comes at a price, and the ocean always collects its debt, eventually. But for now, as you slice through the water at speeds that would make most fish dizzy, just watching you, reliving proof that you can turn a floating blob of transparent jelly into the most magnificent speed machine nature has ever created. Closing. So there you have it. The sailfish from pathetic transparent blob that can even swim properly to becoming the fastest fish in the entire bloody ocean. You go from being jellyfish food to being an underwater fighter jet that hunts in packs and terrifies everything in its path. It's mental when you think about it. Yeah, you start life smaller than a grain of rice, looking like someone sneezed into the ocean, barely able to catch microscopic plankton. You crash into coral, get bullied by dolphins, faceplant into sea anemones, and generally embarrass yourself on a daily basis. But you keep going. You keep practicing. You keep evolving. And eventually, you become something extraordinary. A 3-meter torpedo, capable of hitting nearly 70 miles per hour, with a razor-sharp bill and hunting skills that would make any predator jealous. You become the thing that other fish have nightmares about. But it's not all glory, is it? You can never stop swimming. Your body's fragile, despite your power. Speed comes at a price, and you're paying it every single second of every single day. You're the fastest fish in the ocean, but you're also trapped in a body that demands constant motion, constant hunting, constant behavior. Nature's funny like that. It gives you incredible gifts, but always makes sure you pay for them somehow. If you enjoyed this absolutely bonkers journey from floating snot blob to oceanic speed demon, smash that like button and subscribe for more wild tales from the natural world. I've got loads more mental creatures to tell you about fish that explode, animals with superpowers, and all sorts of evolutionary madness. Trust me, nature's weirder than any science fiction you've ever read. Cheers for watching. And remember, no matter how pathetic you might feel right now, you could still grow up to be the fastest thing in your entire world. Unless you're a sailfish, in which case you already are. Catch you in the next one.